So,
Dear,
hello and
yeah,
welcome. My name is Daniel Tooley. I'll be your SAT reading and English teacher. We're going to start today with the reading section of the SAT. Those of you who are unfamiliar with the test or have taken it a couple of times, whatever your experience is, it's totally fine. We're going to start from scratch. I'll explain all of the strategies and the structure of the test itself. So, the reading and English section count for half of your total SAT score. The score range is from 200 to 800 in the verbal section. And so you have a total of 600 points that count towards that verbal score, 300 for the reading section of the test and 300 for the writing and language section. Just a little bit on the overview of the test, the verbal section. For the reading section, you're going to have 52 questions and you'll have 65 minutes to answer those 52 questions. Essentially, there's 5 reading passages ranging anywhere from 60 to 90 lines, and then you'll answer 10 or 11 questions following those. The writing and language section has 44 questions and you have 35 minutes. So in addition to mastery, we're going to focus on timing and stamina as well. And what I'm going to do is in the chat, I've posted the practice test that we're going to work with. So I posted it to everyone. So if you can click on that, and we'll go right to the first passage in the reading section. It'll be on page 2. I'll go ahead and share my screen as well, the text. So we're going to focus on steps 2 to 5 today. Next time we'll work on reading and annotating. Why are we doing this? Well, this shows you the importance of researching the text, of doing a close reading, of predicting an answer and eliminating answer choices. So some students, the traditional way, they'll read the text, then they'll jump right into their questions and they'll go back and forth. That's a timing issue, but also we're not focusing on the parts of the text that are important for answering the question. So this will isolate that and it'll show you how you can get the answer from just reading certain parts of the text. Okay, so with that said, we're going to skip the passage. The only thing we're going to read to start is this blurb. And you always want to read this blurb because it's going to provide you with some context about the passage. So everyone take a moment, just go ahead and read that. And I'm going to ask, what information do you think is important there that'll help us when we get to our questions? Okay, so what do they tell us here in this blurb that is important? What might help us here? Okay, Eric?
Well, I believe very important information is like the place, Japan, in the year 1920.
Definitely. Absolutely. The setting, it's in Japan. It's in 1920. One of the things that you want to pay attention to also is the publication date. Some of the texts are going to be really old, so they're going to be published in the 17th century, 18th century, and we have to note that because the language will be slightly different. Okay, so those might be more challenging. That also helps you maybe arrange the order in which you're going to go in. More difficult passages you can save to the end. So you don't have to start right with passage number 1. If it's older and it might be a bit more challenging, then you can save it for the end. That way it gives you time to get through more questions. We're not here to read everything per se. We're here to get as many questions as we can right. So, okay, excellent. Anything else that might help us here?
Yeah, to introduce the characters of the story.
Absolutely. We have Chi and her daughter Naomi. Sorry.
Yeah, and the members of House of Fuji.
Yep.
And the noble family.
Excellent. Yep. So they're a noble family. And we know these two characters. So we know it's fiction, we know when it was published, we know where it's set, we know who is involved, or we know two of the main characters. So that's going to be important information. Always keep that in mind. Unfortunately, I have to erase some of this because as I scroll down, we're going to lose some of the notes.